Let's go back to a time when the desert winds told stories and every sunrise painted the hills of Canaan gold. This is where we meet Joseph. He's 17, the second youngest in a family of 12 brothers. Life in a shepherd's family is hard work, long days under the sun, moving the flocks, finding water. But Joseph had a spark. His eyes seemed to look beyond the horizon, as if he could see something no one else could. And maybe that's what made his father love him so much. Jacob, Joseph's father, had lived a hard life, trials, mistakes, miracles. He knew the value of a son who listened, who dreamed, who asked questions. One day Jacob gave Joseph something that would change everything. A robe, long, flowing, and unlike anything the other brothers had ever owned. It was woven with vibrant colors, reds, blues, deep purples. It caught the light like it was alive, and to the brothers, it was loud in its beauty, loud in what it meant. This was not just a coat, this was their father saying, "This one is my favorite." From that day, the coat walked ahead of Joseph. When he came to the fields, the brothers saw it first. When they ate, they noticed Jacob's eyes lingered on Joseph. It burned, and then Joseph began to dream. "Last night," he said, "I dreamed we were out in the fields binding sheaves of grain, and suddenly my sheaf stood up, and all of yours bowed down to mine." Silence, then the muttering. "Are you saying you'll rule over us?" Another night, Joseph dreamed again. "This time, the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowed down to me." Even Jacob, surprised, said, "Will your mother and I and your brothers really bow down to you?" But deep inside, Jacob remembered the God who had given him dreams once too. Then came the day it all broke. Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers in the fields near Dothan. He set out early, the robe bright against the landscape. From far away the brothers saw him. The sight of that coat, glimmering in the sun, it was the final straw. They whispered, "Here comes the dreamer. Let's kill him and see what becomes of his dreams." But Reuben, the eldest, spoke up, "Don't take his life, just throw him into that empty cistern." Reuben was secretly planning to rescue him later. Joseph arrived, smiling, maybe starting to speak. Hands grabbed him, the robe ripped away, he was dragged to the edge of a dry pit and thrown in. Down in the shadows, the dust settled. Above, the brothers sat down to eat lunch, the sound of their voices mixing with the hum of the wind. Then Judah spotted something, a caravan of Ishmaelite traders loaded with spices on their way to Egypt. Judah leaned in. "Why kill him? Let's sell him. He is our brother after all." The others agreed. They hauled Joseph up, tied his hands, and led him to the traders. 20 silver coins exchanged hands, and Joseph was gone. The brothers killed a goat, dipped Joseph's beautiful robe in its blood, and carried it home. "Father, we found this. Tell us if it is Joseph's robe." Jacob's hands trembled as he took it. The fabric was torn, stained deep red. "My son, my Joseph, has been devoured." His grief was so deep no one could comfort him. And while Jacob wept in Canaan, Joseph was led in chains toward the walls of Egypt. The road ahead would take him through betrayal, slavery, prison. But somewhere deep inside, Joseph still carried the dreams. Dreams given by God. Dreams no pit, no chain, no betrayal could take away. Because you see, the coat was gone. His father's arms were far away. But the author of Joseph's story was still writing, and one day, those dreams would come true. Not in the way Joseph expected, but in a way that would save the very brothers who betrayed him. What others mean for harm, God can use for good. The sun dipped low as Joseph's captors led him south. Every mile put more distance between him and home, and the father who thought he was dead. By the time the caravan reached Egypt, Joseph's life had been sold, literally, into the hands of strangers. In the bustling markets of Egypt, Joseph was sold again, this time to Potiphar, captain of Pharaoh's guard. It was another world entirely. Towering walls, strange language, servants rushing in every direction. And yet, Joseph worked. He worked with such care, with such integrity that soon Potiphar noticed. Within months, Joseph was in charge of the entire household. Everything Joseph touched flourished. It wasn't luck. It was God's presence, steady even in a foreign land. But in that same house, trouble was waiting. Potiphar's wife began to notice Joseph. Day after day, she tried to draw him in. But Joseph refused. "How could I do such a wicked thing? And sin against God?" Her desire turned to fury. One day when no one else was around, she grabbed his cloak. Joseph tore himself free and ran, leaving the garment in her hands. Her voice filled the courtyard with lies. By nightfall, Joseph was in chains again, thrown into the king's prison, from favored son to slave to prisoner. But even there, God's presence followed him. The warden saw Joseph's character and placed the entire prison under his care. It was in those stone walls that Joseph met two of Pharaoh's servants, a cupbearer and a baker, both troubled by strange dreams. Joseph listened, then told them, "The interpretations belong to God. Tell me your dreams." To the cupbearer, "In 3 days you'll be restored to Pharaoh's service." To the baker, "In 3 days you will be executed." 3 days later, it happened exactly as Joseph had said. And to the cupbearer, Joseph had asked only one thing: "When you're free, remember me." But the cupbearer forgot. 2 full years passed. Then one night Pharaoh himself had dreams no one could explain. 7 fat cows eaten by 7 thin cows. 7 healthy heads of grain swallowed by 7 withered ones. No priest, no magician, no wise man could tell him the meaning. The cupbearer's eyes widened. "Pharaoh, there is a man in prison who interprets dreams." Joseph was hurried out, shaved, given fresh clothes, and brought before the ruler of Egypt. "Can you interpret my dreams?" Pharaoh asked. Joseph's answer was simple. "I cannot, but God will give Pharaoh the answer he desires." He explained, 7 years of abundance were coming, followed by 7 years of famine so severe it would erase all memory of the good years. "Choose a wise man," Joseph said, "to store grain during the years of plenty, so there will be food when famine comes." Pharaoh looked at his court, then at Joseph. "Can we find anyone like this man in whom is the Spirit of God?" And just like that, the prisoner became Egypt's second in command, from the pit to the palace. Joseph oversaw massive storehouses, filling them during the 7 abundant years. When famine struck, people came from every nation to buy grain. And one day, among the crowd, came 10 brothers from Canaan, the same brothers who had sold him. They didn't recognize him, but Joseph knew. And standing there, with the power to destroy them, Joseph remembered the dreams of his youth, the sheaves bowing down, the stars in the sky. The dreams had come true. Years later, after revealing himself to his brothers, Joseph would say, "You meant to harm me, but God meant it for good, to save many lives." From betrayal to redemption, from loss to restoration, Joseph's story is on of redemption, proof that no pit is too deep, no chain too strong, and no dream too far. For God's plan